But by the time of the generations before Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Arabs had become idol worshippers. And if you look at the story of how this happens, we can't have, there isn't time for details, but just to tie in a bit with tafsir as well, where the Quran also explains how the first idol worship started in the time of Nuh alayhi salam. There was a pious man, Wad, and several other people. Quran mentions them by name. And rahmatullah alayhim, these were pious friends of Allah. But by people going through excessive love and showing love to the pious in ways which Allah does not allow, that eventually ended up as idol worship. And some of these idols became revived after the time of Nuh alayhi salam. They came again revived in the time, few generations before Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. This is a trick of shaitan. He's not going to take you directly from Allah. He will use your good thoughts. You must show respect to these people, and slowly shaitan turned from respect to love to idol worship. So even our love, even our good intentions, our ibadah is all must be done according to the Sharia. We stay according to Sharia, according to the Quran and Sunnah. This is our salvation. When we start doing things the way we want to do it on our own, this is what the forefathers of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what the Arabs did, and this is how the Arabs went astray by using their own thoughts. How can we be respectful to our ancestors? And they went astray. They still believed in Allah, which is why they are called mushrik, people who give partners unto Allah. They did not reject Allah, but again using their own thoughts. No, we need zulfa, we need an intercession, a way to get to Allah. We can't, how can we are so sinful, how can we worship Allah directly? So we need these idols and we despise people and angels and other things in between, and these will intercede for us, zulfa, to go towards Allah. Whereas Allah wants us, however low we are, and however as mighty as Allah is, and majestic Allah is, Allah wants us to speak directly to Allah. So we don't use our own thoughts, no, I am so low and I am so sinful. Allah wants you. However pious you are, however sinful you are, you speak to Allah. That is what Allah commands. We don't use our own thoughts. Tonight and throughout our series, we will not be able to go into as much detail as we can. So, summarized forms of things will have to be said. So, for example, where the Arabs made tawaf around the Kaaba naked. This is commonly said. If we had time, then this is an exception, obviously, we explain that we would then have to explain that this wasn't every single Arab making tawaf naked. It was also a money-making scheme. People are the same throughout history. Mix sometimes money and religion. So the priests of the Arabs used to cover this, that no, you know what? You are wearing that clothing and you made a sin. So now we've got the special garments, you have to wear this. It's pure, and then you can make tawaf around the Kaaba. And if you cannot afford it, then sorry, then you can make tawaf around the Kaaba naked, which many people ended up having to do. So there's these kind of details which we will have to leave out. And so, shameless did the Arabs become at this stage before Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Arabic saying, shukr ni'mah inda zawaliha. You only appreciate a bounty when it is gone. To truly understand Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the great bounty of the coming of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, also try and ponder what would our situation be today if Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had not been sent to the earth. We would not be living like cats and dogs. We would be living worse than cats and dogs. There were two idols also there by the Kaaba. That it was a man and a woman who had committed sexual intercourse inside the Kaaba. And Allah's punishment turned them into stone. And so upside down was the thinking of the Arabs that this was a great miracle. Let's worship these two idols. Instead of taking lesson from that. But that was the thinking of mankind before the coming of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I would be like that without the guidance of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let all of us think and appreciate Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in that regard. A short incident can explain to us also how the world was when Sahaba was speaking, how we used to be so astray before Islam. And one Sahabi was weeping and weeping. Rasulullah said, no, it doesn't matter. Whatever you did with Islam, you are forgiven. He says, no, you don't understand. Now the Arabs also consider it a great disgrace that your first child is a girl. You are named Abu whatever until you get a boy. So you Abu Fatima, it's a disgrace until you become now Abu Ahmad, for example. So they would bury their daughters until the first child is a male. This woman fell pregnant. So he says, my wife fell pregnant, and at the time of giving birth, she said, I want to go give birth by my brother's village. And she went, and she came back alone. She said, no, I had a miscarriage. And a while later, her brother came to visit with his little girl, and I was playing with the girl, and I loved her. And seeing the love that entered my heart, my wife took courage, and she explained that this is not your niece, this is your own daughter. I gave birth to a girl, but knowing what you will do, I left her with my brother. And so I accepted her. And when the Quraysh heard about this, said, what kind of a man you are? What kind of an Arab you are? Sis, a girl. You're keeping her alive. And I felt so ashamed. Told my wife, Martha, dress her, and we would take her out to visit her uncle. And we went out of Makkah, and we went in the desert, and the girl was getting tired. Where are we going? Keep quiet, we're going to your uncle. And then I started digging the hole, and she thought it's a game, and she was playing with me. And she started digging the hole with me. And as the sand blew on me, she wiped it off me with her little hands. And then when the hole was big enough, I put her in. And she still thought it's a game. And I started covering her. And she laughed and threw sand back at me. And I covered her and I covered her. And she started screaming, Daddy, please, no. And I covered her and I covered her. Daddy, please. And I covered her until she was gone. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam wept at this. And he said, oh, you hard-hearted man. Nevertheless, even this crime, with your entry into Islam, with recitation of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, even this is forgiven. So ask ourselves, what cat and what dog, what snake does this to its children, which the people before Islam, which the Arabs before Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam were doing? They were not like animals, they were not like beasts, they were worse. They were worse. And I and every one of us here, without the guidance of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that would be our situation. So with this intention, we will continue, inshallah, that we will try and know about the life of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, learn about him, and to increase our love and appreciate how would our lives be if it was not for the effort and the blessings of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.